9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hello, everyone. It is me. Yes, just me today. It is a special episode of just me being here. Everyone's excited. There's a lot of wrestling shows going on this weekend, so people are going to enjoy them as they should. Me, I'm a bit of a homebody, so I'm here. We're going to be going over a special episode today since, it's just me. We're going to be going over the Trish Adora close-up for Women's Wrestling Army. I'm really excited for next week, though, because it will be the first episode of us finally having Lyric with us. So we're going to be like, the new trio, And hello. Hi, Cool Gamer. How are you today? I hope you're doing well on this Thursday. Staying warm. It's a bit chilly today, so yeah. But also, welcome to Women's Wrestling Army. Women's Wrestling Talk Pod, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I'm doing this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little nervous. It's my first solo, so just bear with me. So let's get into it, actually. So right away, it starts with kind of Alyssa Marino and Trish Adora kind of catching up, talking about everything that, she's been through in Women's Wrestling Army and, some of the today, guys, just bear with me. Some of the pivotal moments that she has had in Women's Wrestling Army. So let's get started. So right here's Alyssa Marino and Trish Adora. So starting, they kind of talk about, how she's the Afro punk, Trish Adora. That's her, thing. We all know this about her. They also have Alyssa. Well, they don't have Alyssa. Alyssa asked Trish, how is she? And she says she's good and says it's the season of crunch time. This sure is the season. Trying to make her mark everywhere, which we appreciate, and we feel her mark all the time because she's, fantastic in that ring. Then she kind of starts talking about her when she kind of clashed heads with Big Swole at the Fete Music Hall. They kind of dig on that. Trish had said that she considers Swole her professional equal, which I found interesting that she said that. Not interesting because I would think that's like not possible, but just like, oh, you know what, that's interesting that you say that. I think that's cool, and it kind of makes me think, and I could definitely see that. And then also she kind of says it was like a 4th or 5th time that they got to wrestle, and says that, every time that they, clash, they do butt heads. Like they just like add a new seasoning to what is them, like their trilogy or whatever. Not a trilogy, but a bunch of things. Not a trilogy. My thoughts. So now, once we get into the match itself, let me skip here. Skip on it over here. This is Women's Wrestling Army not after dark. It's a little bit in the afternoon. So getting into the match, I'm gonna just go over some stuff that kind of went on because there was a lot that went on with this match that ended up in a 15-minute time limit, guys, please. Bear with me with my missing words, honestly. So right away, let's get into some of this. They are fighting. The birds are fighting. Let me tell you that. The animal kingdom is alive and well. So right away, Swole whips Trish into the corner, but Trish moves out of the way, gets a roll up on Swole. Yeah. Trish then gets some hits in. She tries to get a hammerlock on Swole, but Swole runs into the corner, but Trish then catches her with a crossbody for a pin attempt. One thing I've always really liked about Trish is her moveset, while it is very calculated, because she's very, skilled technically, there's also a lot of explosiveness to her, package as well. So I do like that 1 minute she could be so meticulous with her, trying to get moves in and working different limbs, but also she's very explosive. She could pull out a move you wouldn't even expect. So I appreciate that. I just wanted to say that. Trish then hits an up kick on Swole's arm, which she has been damaging throughout this match at this point. Skip on here. Then after that, Trish went for a cattle mutilation, but Swole in this match, it's a little bit skipped. And let me see here. So this basically was them going over the favorite matches so far. Not even favorite, but the most pivotal matches. I would say I really enjoyed her match with Ashley D'Amboise, which is actually on the list, so we will be going over that as well. But I really enjoyed that. Do you have a match of your own, Dwayne? And also, welcome. How are you today? Get that out of here. Then again, so Trish was nursing her leg because Swole had been working on it, so the cattle mutilation did not go through as she intended for it. Moving in, Swole goes for multiple forearms plus an uppercut, then hits a headbutt for a near fall in this matchup. Another skip into the match. Swole goes for a hit, but Trish hits a lariat Tubman, which I absolutely love so much. I love the name, everything about it. Yes. And after that lariat Tubman, they are both laid out for a good portion. It was just hard hitting. I mean, they were going for it. Swole gets a sunset flip for a pin attempt, then immediately hits another headbutt. I don't know how Swole is able to dish out all of these headbutts, because honestly, if a gust of wind hits my head, I'm already, let's stop the show. I don't know how she's doing that. After that, both go for clotheslines, which knocks them both out again, this leading to the time limit draw. When I had first watched this match at the time when it happened, I was a little bit upset. I'm not going to lie. You see these two, you want to see a definitive winner. I do, at least. I don't know about anything else. But I would have liked to see a definitive winner. So I would love for them to definitely run it back in Women's Wrestling Army. That's something I'm definitely looking forward to. And even for some gold, because I do know Maria did say, gold is something that is on the horizon. So maybe that's something we'll get in the future. I don't know. All right, let's do it, guys. See, there's a lot going on, guys. I'm telling you. Bear with me. This is a one-woman show today, so bear with me with these slides, okay? Now, we go back to Alyssa and Trish discussing this very match that we just kind of saw a bit of a flash into. Alyssa, Trish says she doesn't feel like she doesn't like it to end on time limit, which is something I said it myself. I didn't like it. But she said that added an extra layer of seasoning and wants to revisit it. We all want you to revisit it. Trust me. Trust me, we all do. Alyssa says she went from one demanding match to another, referring to her match with Deonna Purrazzo, which was also another favorite of mine. And I would love for that also to be revisited, because Deonna was like, let me take my little sneak victory and dip and never come back and just keep it that way. Deonna, no, you need to come back. These birds, I don't know, I must be living in the jungle, because these birds is not playing today. I'm trying to tell you. So after they talk about that, we do move into the Trish Adora versus Deonna Purrazzo match. This, listen, two technical beasts. So the minute I knew I was going to watch this, I was like, let me just soak it in. I'm excited. Immediately, Trish says she's always looking to survive, thrive, and win when it comes to being in the ring with Deonna, which makes sense. I mean, Deonna is no easy task for anyone. So I could see why she would say that specifically. So going into the match, immediately Deonna goes for a waist lock for control. One thing I've realized about Deonna, and a lot of technical, like people who are very technical savvy and technical based in their wrestling, their main thing is getting control in matches. That's such a big thing. Not like the regular control, like, oh, he's in control of the match type thing, but control. If anyone gets what I'm saying, I'm probably sounding crazy. More than likely sounding crazy. It's okay. I accept it. So getting into the match, after the waist lock, Trish is able to maneuver her way out and put Deonna in a hammerlock. Let me get that. She does a one-handed push-up as well, as you can see in this bottom left photo right here, which I thought was so cool. I love the playfulness of Trish. I feel like she takes herself seriously, but she also doesn't at the same time, if that makes any sense. Just a very welcoming soul. Welcoming. Like, that's a word. We'll make it a word today. So Deonna tries to dodge Trish, running the ropes as we flash into something else. But Trish spots and gets Deonna at a pin attempt. Trish goes for a leg submission / pin attempt, which I thought looked really, really cool. As you can see right here at the top left corner, right there. I thought it was like she was putting pressure on Deonna's leg, but also, let me sneak in a pin real quick. Smart, I say. So Trish goes for a leg submission / a pin attempt, as I said. Another pin combination by Trish. I slapped my new mic. Got a new mic. It's pink too. Women's wrestling artist. So after that pin combination, both trade arm drags, then run the ropes, which allows Deonna to catch Trish with a back elbow, as you can see here at the bottom right corner, that photo. And I also just want to say, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I just want to say a big thank you to my co-host who's usually always here, but she's out living her best life, going to see, Double or Nothing. Can't hate on that. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see the photos. But I just also wanted to say how much I appreciate her. She got all these photos. Like, she's amazing. I just want to say, while she's not here physically, she is here in spirit, okay? Because she is carrying me with these photos. And so going back into it, after Deonna gets Trish in a headlock, but Trish gets some midsection shots in before Deonna tries to pull her hair for control. Again, this is something I keep saying, like, control. But Trish whips her to the ground. Can you hear these birds? These birds are driving me nuts. Deonna gets a big clothesline. Both women then in the next flash trade forearms back and forth. Then Deonna gets a knee and then hits Trish with 3 chops into the corner. I mean, they were thunderous. Slapped her into the corner. I've never seen somebody slapped into the corner. I usually see the slapping whilst in the corner, mostly. They both keep going for chops in the corner. I mean, it was like a back and forth. It was like, I mean, it was a little bit faster and cooler than what I just did, but they did this back and forth for a good little minute. But eventually, Trish is able to catch Deonna with an open palm strike. Very painful. Into the next flash, into this, review of this match, because it is in flashes. It's kind of shows those the bigger parts of the matches, that are her favorites. Moving into the next, Trish catches Deonna with a crossbody for a pin attempt. Trish then catches Deonna with a splash in the corner, then whips her into the other corner and delivers another splash. I mean, Trish was definitely laying on the offense. Trish then hits a judo throw into a pin attempt. Let's get into that. See this? What's going on all in this area? And then going to another flash, Deonna gets a jawbreaker on Trish when she was trying to pick her up. Deonna runs the ropes and Trish hits a backbreaker for a pin attempt. Yeah, see, it's around here. It's in this area. After that, Trish gets Deonna on her shoulders, but Deonna fights off. She then gets a waist lock in which Trish reverses into her own waist lock. They run the ropes, and Deonna plants Trish, then gets a submission in. Trish kicks Deonna, then twists her arm into the mat, then gets a cattle mutilation locked in. Let's get that. You see right there in the bottom right? It's right there. Cattle mutilation. I absolutely love that move. It just looks so beautiful. If that makes sense. If a move can look beautiful. It can, actually. I'm saying I'm saying right now that it can be beautiful. So let's get into that. Cattle mutilation. So Deonna kicks Trish, then goes for Queen's Gambit, but Trish flips her over. They seesaw back and forth, kind of like trying to get that pin in, as you can see. And then towards the bottom left, as you can see, Deonna grabs the ropes and gets the win. This is a sucky way for a match between these two type of people to end with a cheat roll-up. Hate it. Hate it here. Hate it here. Alyssa then asks Trish about this. Alyssa asks, was it more nagging to not have the win on your record or to have a match like this end so dishonestly? Word for word. I'm telling you. Look back. Look back at this episode. Word for word. Okay. Trish says it's a bit of both, which I could see. She's all about sportsmanship, as we know, because she always gives her hand out before any match. You know, she wants to shake hands. She wants it to be, you know, just good sportsmanship, which I appreciate. Says she's trying to figure it out on her own, and it's not a lot of warm places in this industry, but Women's Wrestling Army is warm. So actions like that don't sit well with her. And I love that she says that, because I could get that vibe that Women's Wrestling Army does feel like a very warm place to be. Very inclusive, very just like fighting for, you know, the little man, if that makes any sense. I love it. I love it. And she also spoke on how Deonna, after the match, said, tough luck, kid. I gotta go. And she says she does still feel slighted by that and definitely is looking to get her lick back. And we want you to get your lick back at Women's Wrestling Army. I want to see it soon. Please. I'm begging. Not a demand, more of a beg, you know? See? Deonna knows she got up by the skin of her teeth. She knows it. Oh, man. So, let's see here. So, Alyssa asked, how does Trish refocus herself when going into a new match with a fresh competitor after taking a loss like this in such a, you know, as Alyssa said, dishonest manner? She says an elephant, it's an elephant, so she remembers everything. It's an elephant. She is an elephant, and she remembers everything. Tries to add another layer of seasoning. She hated that Deonna made her feel like she didn't take her seriously, which she feels is unfair and untrue. I agree. So now she says that she's that girl for a reason. I agree again. Ashley D'Amboise was a casualty in her restating that. So before we go into talking about this, I wanted to put a commercial on for you guys. So just hang tight with me for a second, and I appreciate you guys popping in again. Trust me, I'm flying solo, okay? I'm flying solo. Be right back.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw post-show, WoW post-show, AEW Dynamite post-show, Women's Wrestling Army post-show, NXT post-show, Impact Wrestling post-show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live post-show, On the Scroll, ROH post-show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Hello. I'm back. I love the commercial. So now we're back, and we have the Trish Adora versus Ashley D'Amboise, which I did say earlier to Dwayne was my favorite Trish Adora match in Women's Wrestling Army, because I just feel like I'm obsessed. Like, I just think that they have a really good chemistry, and I think that they're both really exceptional when it comes between those ropes. So moving into this match, right away, Ashley starts with a waist lock, which Trish reverses into an arm wrenching hold. Easy, because again, I feel like Trish, she excels in the, if I can think of the word, she excels in it, okay? And I will come back to this years later, weeks later, if I have to, whenever I can, whenever it comes to my mind, I will talk about this. But yeah, Trish uses momentum to roll Ashley up for a pin attempt. Ashley has Trish in a hammerlock, which Trish reverses by pulling Ashley's leg from under her. Very smart. Now to another flash, we have back-to-back near falls from Trish. Trish then gets Ashley in a waist lock of her own. Ashley reversed into a wrist lock, then rolls out. Trish rolls out of the maneuver. Smart. Girls, they're like, okay, hold up. You kind of getting me. So we get the top left corner. Test of strength. Trish, strength. Guys, I swear to you, I've went to school and I graduated. Test of strength. Trish uses this to hit a Northern Lights suplex. Very beautiful. After that, they trade wrist locks. Trish then twists Ashley's shoulder into the mat. This becomes a reoccurring issue for Ashley moving into the match because Trish does not let up working on it. We then have Ashley delivering a thunderous kick to Trish's spine. This is in the next flash. Then putting pressure on her shoulder blades with placement of her feet. Trish pushes herself upwards, forcing a pin, which makes Ashley have to release the hold. Very smart on Trish, which is, her usual, because she is a very smart competitor. Trish gives a slew of hits to Ashley, then hits her with a pump kick and then a senton for a pin attempt. Loved it. Do it again. 10 out of 10. Trish tries to get her on her shoulders, but Ashley fights off. Ashley then goes for a waist lock, but Trish easily reverses into her own. Get you here where you need to be. Into her own, and then Trish then deadlifts into a German suplex for a pin attempt. Gorgeous deadlift, I gotta say. Ashley goes for her finisher, but Trish rolls her off. Ashley kicks Trish in the head pretty hard, actually. Trish went down immediately. Trish gets a fisherman suplex for a pin attempt, then an Oklahoma roll for another pin attempt. Ashley goes for a backslide pin attempt. Trish then goes for a roll-up pin attempt. A lot of pin attempts in this match, and I spoke on this the last time. I was like, my goodness. After everything, Trish then gets a backbreaker on Ashley and then hits the lariat Tubman for the win. This was significant for Trish because this was her comeback after her less than... It's just the way that she lost to Deonna was not fair because Deonna had those ropes, and I could tell that it really sucked for her because no matter what, that's on the, lineup. No matter what, she lost. Even if it was for, a reason where, Deonna cheated, it still is what it is. And so for Trish to get her momentum back, especially against someone as, awesome as Ashley D'Amboise, was really important. That's why it was a pivotal and significant moment. I'm sure those mean the same thing, and I said it twice. But you know what? Whatever. And hey, Black Fist, how are you? How are you doing today? We're here flying solo, talking about some women's wrestling army stuff. Trish Adora, close up. How are you? So after that match, after they speak on that match, Trish talks about how sharp Ashley is and, how she's a really, really great competitor. So Alyssa is now like, let's get some last minute opinions, which I thought was really, really cute. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I could go over this. So Alyssa asked, let's see here, who is most likely to stay out all night partying? Trish says Missa Kate. I could definitely see that. Missa gives the late night party girl vibe, so I could definitely see that being the wave for her. If I could say someone in women's wrestling talk that I think would be partying all night, I would say Nikki. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. I'm doing my own little spin on this right now. I'm flying solo. I'm trying to make something of this. We then have most likely to believe they can fix something themselves. I would say my NXT partner, Katrina. I think that she would think that, and probably could, honestly, because I've seen her make things come to fruition that is like, you're doing this all on your own. It's crazy. The next one was most likely to always have snacks on hand. I would say myself. I always have snacks, so I would say myself. But for the most likely to fix something themselves, Trish said Queen Aminata, which I could probably see that. I feel like I could see that in a way. And for most likely to have snacks, Trish also said herself. See, so we're like on the same vibe here. I'm feeling most likely to chat one's ear off. She said Big Swole, and then said that they once had an hour and 20-minute conversation. Well, you know what? I've had conversations that long, so I'm not going to judge. If I could say who's most likely to chat one's ear off, I would say Stephanie Hardy, but not in a bad way. I just think that she has so much conversation to her, which I love. I think that's why I like talking to her so much. And then most likely to cry over a movie, Trish said Ashley D'Amboise, which I was like, oh, you know what? That's so cute, because you would never get that vibe from how Ashley is in the ring. So I think that's cute. And it's a cool insight. You can't talk that long, really? I feel like I've talked that long. I'm just, if you talk to me about the right topic, I can talk for a very long time. Honestly, if I'm really, really inspired by it. I keep short and deadly. Deadly? Why is it deadly? What are you talking about? What do you talk about that it's short and deadly? I've heard short and sweet. I've never heard short and deadly. I'm a little bit scared now. Like, I want to know now. I need details. If I could say someone that would cry over a movie, I'm gonna have to say myself again. I'm the same person. Like, I've watched certain things. I recently saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I cried so much in this movie. I literally had like the tissue from the soda that I got, the little slushie. I had to take all the tissue and just be like going like this, because the stuff with Rocket and Lila, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Again, I say I went to school. Yes, but I couldn't do it. And then when they started playing Florence and the Machine, I was done for. Okay, the next question Alyssa asked, most likely to be glued to their phone. It sucks that most of these questions are things that I probably will be doing with probably me, because I'm probably playing a video game. I love phone games, so I'm gonna say myself again. Okay, don't judge me. She said Holiday, which I was very shocked about. Holiday being glued to her phone, but Ashley says she's very socially involved. You like Florence and the Machine? Ugh, the taste is overflowing. Yes, I absolutely love them. I would say my favorite song from them is Never Let Me Go. the Vampire Diaries fans, you understand the significance, and that's all I got to say. So for hearing that it was Holodead that's most likely glued to her phone, I was very shocked about that, but I think it's very cool. I love Holodead, okay? I will scream it to the rooftops. I don't care who hears it, okay? Then the next question that Alyssa asked was most opinionated. Trish said Tasha Steele, and I could totally see that. You know, she seems like someone that's going to let you know anything on her mind at any point and doesn't care, which I respect. I would say most opinionated. I would say Al, especially seeing her tweets. Like, definitely be letting her mind be spoken, and I love it, as you should. As you should. Most likely to be a superhero in disguise, and Trish said Maria Kanellis-Bennett. I love this response because I could definitely see that, because I feel like just even the creation of Women's Wrestling Army is based off of someone trying to give light to people. You know, not even a voice for the voiceless, because they do have voices, you know, then they scream loud, you know, especially when they're in that ring. But just like helping and making sure people are seen and their work is respected and loved and shown as far and wide as it can be. I just slapped my little thing. And just Maria seems like a person that's just wants to help and wants to expand things for the better. So I thought that was a beautiful response, and I think I would follow suit with Trish and say that I think that would be TK. You know, like everything she's done, that's like a superhero. You know, everything that she's given and the opportunities that she spread for other people, that's a superhero. So Alyssa decides it's best to end it at that, and I agree. Like, that's beautiful. You know, just the meaning behind it, and yeah. So with that, we have the end of this close-up on Trish Adora. Again, next week, we will finally be having our trio of me, Aisha Lomax, and our newest addition, Lyric, which I'm so excited because, I mean, you know, from I think it was like 2 weeks ago, you know, she was on with us, and, you know, the vibe was just amazing. So I'm just excited to create more memories, and we're going to come up with a name. I know we didn't have a name before, but we will have a name by next week, and it'll be the best name you ever heard. Best name ever. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to every person that popped in just to, you know, hear my psychobabble and talk about some Women's Wrestling Army and Trish Adora. We are just awaiting your next, you know, awesome match that you're going to have that's going to, you know, leave a mark, because you always do in some way. I would love to see her go against Sky Blue in Women's Wrestling Army, Sierra, Alex Gracia. Those are a few names. I would love to see her lock horns with them in Women's Wrestling Army. And just thank you guys for coming in. You can catch me in about an hour and a half right back here for NXT After Show with In Cat We Trust. And just, you know, have a good night, everyone. Be safe, be well. Don't do anything I wouldn't. And I wouldn't do a lot of things because I'm boring. So, yeah. Bye.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.